My name is Carol Bartu. You may know that I'm a medical reporter, but my most important job is I'm a mom. And I'm very grateful that my children are healthy. It's something that many of us do take for granted, but not the families and children that you're about to meet. Fortunately, these kids are being taken care of at one of the best hospitals in America, the Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt. Thanks to the support and generosity of our community, Vanderbilt Children's Hospital is celebrating its second birthday in a great new building, and children from all over the region continue to celebrate theirs.
If we didn't have Children's Hospital, we probably wouldn't have two of our children, and our life would not be what it is today.
It has meant the life of my daughter. I honestly believe if we had lived somewhere else that she would not have made it. I would give everything that I had to make sure that other families have what we've been given. And that's, 6 years with our daughter.
If Vanderbilt hadn't been here, I wouldn't be sitting here right now because Kelly would not have been alive, and that's as plain as it can be.
It's absolutely wonderful. There would be no other place I want my son to be.
I can't think of a more worthy cause than children's lives.
The very first major decision I had to make as Vice Chancellor was the decision about, do we build a children's hospital? In talking to the physicians, in talking to the community, it was the easiest decision I ever made.
Today we can say and know that in Nashville, Tennessee, we have the finest children's hospital in the world.
Without the unqualified and boundless support of the entire community, we would not be here today. This campaign for Children's Hospital had to have a champion, and fortunate for us, fortunate for the children and families of this region, they do have a champion, and that is Monroe Carroll Jr.
Everyone get your scissors ready. 1, 2, 3.
It's just a marvelous facility. I think that it has turned out to be even beyond anybody's expectations. I think the most exciting thing about it is that for decades to come, that any child who needs anything can come to Vanderbilt and get it.
I'm just gonna give you your medicine here, okay, kiddo? He's ready to go home, aren't you? Yeah.
I had to stay in the hospital for almost 2 months. My mom and dad take turns coming up here. It makes me feel better when my brothers and sisters come up. She's my little sister. I like her to lay on my bed and her favorite bladder.
When you walk in the hospital, it doesn't feel like a hospital. It's an environment of hope and healing, and that's very exciting. But it's also exciting to work next to staff who are so passionate about children and children's health. Their commitment to families, it's just a terrific place to be around.
That's Miss Yolanda. I like her because she's nice and she's funny. And I sing with her sometimes. She always asks me who's the best boy in the world. It just makes me feel happy.
The man who brings me food is, he's just really sweet. He just asks if I need anything, if mom needs anything. He knows my name, and he's just really good. And one day he was like, what do you want? I was like, I don't care. And he was like, do you want pizza? And I was like, sure. And he was like, it might take a while, okay, but I'll go see if I can find you some. Because, I don't like mostly any hospital food.
Our medical staff aren't just physicians. Many are scientists looking for better treatments and cures for childhood disease and injury. And that creates a very stimulating environment where we're all engaged in trying to make lives better for kids.
About February of the year 2000, I was having really bad back pain. The pain gradually kept getting worse, and so April 17th, my parents had scheduled a bone scan. The doctors were almost positive it was childhood cancer, and they referred us to Vanderbilt. The doctors told me I had lymphoblastic lymphoma, precursor B-cell. The whole name is really precursor B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoblastic lymphoma stage 3. I fell in love with all of the nurses. I mean, they are all some of my lifelong friends that I'll have, and I just think Vanderbilt's such a great place because of the people who work here. My family is very close. Watching my parents hurt in their eyes every day, seeing me lying there in the bed, I can't even describe how I felt. I didn't want to act sick in front of them because I knew it would hurt them more, but then I knew they knew I didn't want to act sick, and it just hurt them more that I had to act like I was feeling better. They're in so much pain, and I am too, and we're all scared together. It's unreal. I think everyone who has battled childhood cancer and their families are scared of a relapse that could occur, but I just have to go on with my everyday life and try to live life to the fullest. I know it sounds so cliche, but it's very true. I'm trying my best to spread the word about Vanderbilt in every way, shape, and form because I wouldn't be here today without Vanderbilt. On April 23rd, 2007, I will be pronounced cured. I'm gonna throw a big party. Everyone's invited, you're invited.
Helping children and their families get better is what we're all about. We are focused on delivering the best care in the best environment. We do take care of everybody that needs us, and that's everybody. Because children of all ages, races, genders, ethnic groups get sick, and they get heart disease, and they get cancer, and we need to be able to take care of them.
You can get through just about anything if you can get through your child having cancer. You can just about get through anything, and she's shown me that. She's wonderful. She's a loving child. She plays all the time. You would never think she had anything wrong with her. She's just great. She's a sweetheart and a blessing. My highest hopes for her is that she will recover from this completely. Just grow up to be a woman, to have children, and them give her as much joy as she's given us. I just want her to grow up and have a chance to live her life. I never lost hope that she was going to make it. I just put my faith in God and in the doctors and the nurses at Vanderbilt, and it was easier for me to kind of imagine the future with her. If I could picture a scene, she was going to be there. She was going to make it.
We just cherish every day and every moment we have with him because there's no guarantees in life for anybody.
But it's hard. It's the hardest thing to do when you leave your child in somebody's hands and you don't know if they're coming back, even if it's a simple procedure or it's open heart surgery.
Yes, you are. Come here, big fella.
To be in a situation where somebody trusts you enough to let you do something to the most important thing in their life, their child, is just incredible responsibility, but an incredible gift. I've been given a gift to do this, and it's not that I'm anything special, I'm lucky, and I cherish that gift.
So we're going home?
I think so. He just was looking at his potassium level.
That's wonderful.
I know, it's unreal.
I think you learn about strength. You learn about resilience. I mean, they're amazing. All the things they have to go through, and it's so wonderful to have them come back and bring us graduation invitations and wedding invitations and pictures of their own children. So you just get so much back from them. But I think the strength of what families can do to get through things is an amazing thing to see.
You learn love. I mean, you have these children who have everything against them, and yet they go through life with endless enthusiasm and just the joy and the energy that as adults you wish we could have every day. And each and every day they teach me that each and every day is precious. And don't take any minute for granted. Don't take any moment for granted. Hug your kids. It's gonna make me cry, but hug your kids, and yeah.
We all want our kids to be happy and to have a perfect life. But sometimes kids do get sick, sometimes they get hurt, and sometimes we have to define perfect in a new way.
Roger, Life Flight 3. You're headed to Gateway Helipad to meet EMS for a 3-month-old weighing 10 pounds. Blood pressure is 80/60, heart rate's 154, and respirations are 60, at 92%. She'll be returning to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital.
She wasn't acting normal. Barrett had quit smiling. She had started crying when we picked her up or changed her diaper, and she was grunting almost just constant, almost every breath. And called her pediatrician, and immediately he wanted to see us, so we went in to see him. And then he sent us on up to Vanderbilt. Barrett had already been life-flighted to Vanderbilt, and when we got here, the doctors immediately told us that she was pretty much a textbook case leukemia.
She was very, very tiny, and she was probably the palest child I have ever seen. You could just see her little veins through her skin. It was very important for us just to protect her and get her to Vanderbilt.
The doctors did not think that she would live through the night when we brought her here. And so her to still be here with us is a miracle. We could not ask for better care for Barrett. The nurses and the doctors have been wonderful. We know she's where she needs to be.
It just doesn't feel like you're going into a hospital. It feels like you're coming to see your daughter. This is her home right now.
This is our home right now. She had a bone marrow transplant, and thanks to the medical staff at Vanderbilt, she's just doing wonderful. Miss Mom will forever be grateful. Can you say thank you? That's right, thank you.
Vanderbilt Life Flight, this is JJ. Hey JJ, this is Reed at Rutherford County. Go ahead and launch you. We have one child approximately just 13 to 15 years old. It appears to be a severe head trauma. She's having some bleeding and she's unresponsive. They hit head on with a tree on a moped. Penny, did they have on helmets? No helmets. No helmet. My God. Rita, give me a number.
Her nickname's Baby Doll. She's a 395 student. She's a dancer. The Lord has just blessed her with a heart for others. And you know, a lot of people may say that. She lives it. I coach football, and I was coming off the field when I got a call from my son. He told me that Jackie had been in an accident. I said, how serious? He said, well, Life Flight is landing right now. When I saw her, she was obviously not good. I just fell down and started praying. I knew in my spirit that we were in a life and death situation.
I was the last one to the scene of the accident, and there was a crowd and ambulances, and I just ran right up the middle, and I just fell on my knees, and of course I could see blood pouring out of her nose, her ears, everywhere.
The EMS system responded appropriately. We arrived on the scene early. All the proper interventions were done early. So everything was really very optimized.
We brought the hospital to her instead of bringing her to the hospital. We did those advanced procedures right there in the front yard of that home that maybe they made a difference.
I know it probably sounds strange, but I relaxed just knowing that she was in their care. I felt that this was a major part of saving Jackie's life.
God says, put your feet to work and he'll work in it. Well, they weren't using feet, they were using a rotor blade.
She's perfect. She's perfect.
It was incredible to see her beauty sitting upright again. It may have been broken, but it's still beauty. I believe she'll dance again. Jackie's gonna be okay. I can't see it any other way.
Carry you.
Maybe about 20 weeks or so, my blood pressure started rising, and then at 25 weeks, I was admitted to the hospital. At the end of the pregnancy, ended up with a 1 pound, 11 ounce baby boy.
The NICU was just ideal for us. I was able to go on a tour and see other children that were comparable to our son, and it just helped, in a sense, to calm my nerves, to know what was going to happen from that point forward. I had no idea about a neonatal unit, but what was most surprising to me is when we were at the hospital in the neo unit, the number of people from out of state, from around the surrounding counties, actually came to Vanderbilt for specialized treatment. He's a healthy, almost 3-year-old child today, and every time I see him, he's just a blessing.
I didn't know Brian had Down syndrome before he was born. I never knew him any other way, which I think is a blessing. It is sort of a grieving process because you're expecting one baby and you're sort of handed another, but I never knew him any other way.
They decided to choose me as their pediatrician, and I was called in to see him and check him out and told his parents, oh, by the way, I have a daughter with Down syndrome, and we would get through all of this together. And there were many hurdles early on. His early life, he was sick quite a bit. He had to have heart surgery, which was a major deal for the family to go through, and a major deal for me to help them through.
All of a sudden, 2 days in, the Down syndrome was just totally on the back burner. We were just trying to get him to be a, somewhat healthy baby with Down syndrome, as opposed to, this sort of baby that was needing some urgent care.
In spite of all these medical problems and the challenges of having Down syndrome, Brian has just been a trooper and a joy to be around.
Vanderbilt has been, that's our core, because everything does come out of that 2-block radius off of 21st Avenue. It started with the medical care for us and then branch out from there. Once he was well enough, then he could move on to all the wonderful things that the Kennedy Center had to offer.
You don't just look at the family member with a disability, you look at the entire family. All of that family needs supports and services and care. And our research includes that, and our training includes that, and the services that we offer for the community include the whole family. My hopes for Brian would be like any other child, that he will grow up and be a part of a community somewhere, have a job, have a home, and be happy. And one of the things I've learned from taking care of kids like this and from my own daughter, that's really all we should hope for any of our children. And if they have that, then they're pretty lucky.
When he was first born, I remember saying, all right, baby, that my biggest fear was that no one else would love him but us. I'm glad that so far life has proved me wrong.
If you have a healthy child, it's a blessing. And we assume and we take for granted that our children are going to be perfect when they're born. And that's not always the case.
I'm not sure that most parents have the appreciation for that child's life that you learn to have when you've had a critical child. Never lost a child. I hope I never lose a child, but I know what it's like to know you might lose a child, and that hurts.
Abigail was born with a serious malformation of her heart where the arteries that come out of the heart are actually backwards, and she had a large hole in her heart. We knew all along she was going to need a very big operation. When you think about the size of this person's heart, it's the size of their hand. Their hand's so small and the heart's so small. Dr. Drinkwater was able to switch the arteries back and close this hole.
her heart's working great, then she looks fantastic.
You sound wonderful.
People who haven't been through a medical crisis have no idea what an asset we have in this area to have Vanderbilt here.
We had heard that Vanderbilt is a research hospital, that it's a good hospital. We knew very little about the inside of Vanderbilt. There's a world there that most people don't know exists. It's an incredible world now. I get emotional about it, but it's one full of technology and daily advances that have allowed my little girl to grow and develop normally.
My lab and I are very interested in how you make a heart. So how does an embryo make a heart? We've discovered a gene that's essential in making coronary arteries. If babies are born with abnormal arteries serving the heart, you have to rearrange them. What we're trying to understand is what our gene does to that process.
The prevalence of congenital heart disease is about 1 in 100 children. It's an epidemic. We really have the potential to dramatically change the clinical course of the disease. Ultimately, we'd like you never to need surgery.
Vanderbilt is incredible. They've taken our little baby girl that was born imperfect and made her perfect. And for that, we will be forever thankful.
Oh, Abigail, she's going to be president. She's going to be an Olympic track star. She'll be homecoming queen, and her daddy will cry when she gets married. And, you know, he'll have the first dance.
Vanderbilt Children's Hospital is full of children with life-threatening and life-changing illnesses. And yet they're just like kids, playful and innocent.
What is it like to be in the hospital? It's pretty fun. You can play anything in the playroom, people doctor on you, and most of all, you get to take a rest. Is that fun?
Yeah. We're going to have to stay for a while.
I like it a lot. Do you? I like Vanderbilt because it makes you feel better.
Thank you very much. Honey.
I have diabetes. Yeah, get shots.
Here we go. They tell you your child is going to be almost be able to do everything that they want to do. But it's the almost that really gets to you. You're thankful that it's just almost completely normal. But then there's that one little thing that it's just like, why not totally normal? Why almost normal? Look, 158. That's good, huh?
The day we found out she had diabetes, we were given shots that evening. And, from then on, it's counting carbs every day, every meal, and giving shots after every meal.
Okay, deep breath.
It's very difficult to say, go out, do what you want, and yet do all this on time, don't deviate from this, make sure you have a perfect day. It invades your every minute of every day. There is no time that you really cannot think about diabetes.
I don't know of any other place in the area, in the state, that would match Vanderbilt for its diabetes care.
We're thankful for Vanderbilt and thankful for the way that they treat her there and how her doctors and her nurses are so wonderful and love her.
I think Vanderbilt's the place to be.
He has to check his blood sugar sometimes 6-8 times a day and pump his insulin. He has to figure out how many carbs per unit of insulin he has to have. And a lot of times he kind of holds back from doing sports, things like that, because he's afraid he'll get low. He doesn't want to be embarrassed.
Diabetics have to be really responsible, and the best thing is you sometimes get treated really kind of like a special person, but you're really not. you pretty much are like always happy and everything, but sometimes you might get low or you might catch a disease really quick. So there's not really much to it that's really nice about diabetes.
Diabetes isn't a condition that affects just one part of the body. Unfortunately, it can affect every part of the body. So what you need is a comprehensive and integrated group of physicians that can look after your blood glucose, can look after your heart, your nerves, your kidneys, your eyes. And we have that at Vanderbilt. And then on top of that, we've got a group of dedicated researchers. So we can marry research with clinical excellence and clinical care.
A cure to me, I don't even know how to describe it. It would be incredible to know that my child could be healthy and that his life could be easier and that he could live a longer life.
Vanderbilt has positioned themselves well to possibly find a cure for diabetes. So that's what our hopes are.
All right, you ready?
Sarah has rhabdomyosarcoma, which is a childhood cancer. Only 5% of childhood cancers tend to be rhabdomyosarcoma. Sarah's probably been stuck 200 times in the last year. But they make those things easy for her and safe for her and not scary for her. And that is a gift.
Well, the important bead to me is the Emily bead. It's my cousin's bead because she died from cancer.
What's the brown one for?
Hair loss. Just like it fell out, like coming out. It's like I'm shedding like a dog.
Our primary goal when they are diagnosed is to try to find a way for them to feel comfortable. And one of the main things is consistency, allowing their families to stay in the room with the child for any procedures that we do. And then to provide the children with a routine so that each time they come, they know exactly what will happen.
There you go.
The moms are really special because they have to make every day normal for their child. I mean, even if it's not normal for you and you're just petrified, you have to make it normal for them because you want them to have whatever part of this childhood they can to be as special as possible. So I guess to be the mom of a sick kid, you have to act like the mom of a normal kid and cry your tears in the middle of the night.
Each and every day, I think I have the opportunity to be reminded that our families, our children, are the most important things in the world.
To have one of the best medical centers in the country an hour from our home, there are families that drive 4 and 5 hours just to be at Vanderbilt, and we're lucky enough to say that we're an hour away and they're here whenever we need them.
And lipstick, oh no! There, we got it all.
When she was 5 months old, she was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, and it's the #1 genetic killer of Caucasian children.
Good, good.
It affects my lungs and my pancreas, and I have to take enzymes when I eat because I don't digest my food, and I have to do vest and inhalers so I can breathe better.
Going to school is really important, and playing on the basketball team is important, like Leellen does, and playing soccer and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and camping. My goal is for them to be really healthy, active kids.
She's not just a little girl with cystic fibrosis. She's a 15-year-old young lady that has a life, and that means a whole lot to them, and you can tell it.
And blow hard. I'm after. Do better than that. I'm just gonna live it to my fullest, live every day like it's my last day. Because it could be. I just thank the Lord that I woke up another morning and that I'll be here all day to go back to bed and wake up the next morning and see my friends and my family.
I think we've learned to appreciate what it means to give and what it really means to receive. We've received so many well wishes, so much help from people that love us. It has expanded our I guess, our love.
You hold on to every little moment, every scrap of paper they write "I love you" on, every picture they draw for you, every card they send you, because you just live with the fear that that's that last Mother's Day or that last Christmas. We're very lucky though. Her prognosis is excellent, so we're working our way past that fear. But you can't spend too many days in this clinic without realizing how precious they are.
What I do day to day, helping children and families, it's a calling just as a religious person has a calling. I've always said that the things that I get to do at work are very special.
Vanderbilt has given me, my family, and Lee Allen hope. Hope for the best care, hope for brighter tomorrows, hope that there are lots of tomorrows to come.
These children and families are brave beyond words. They face their adversity with courage and hope. It's a strength that comes from within, but it's also a strength that's nurtured by the people of Children's Hospital.
Macy has Crohn's, and she was diagnosed 2 years ago. They had to go in and remove the part of the small intestines, the appendix, and part of the colon. I've heard time and time again how they've put themselves in our shoes. If this was my child, and they make us feel like we're family here, and that they understand that this is a life change for us, and they're wanting to be a part and are a part of that support system.
We're real thankful that everybody who comes in is so nice to her that she's able to greet them all with a smile. We feel like that makes it all so much easier. It's hard to walk the halls and to see everybody sick. That was probably the hardest thing to get used to.
When people need help and you're there to lend a helping hand, people do not forget that. I didn't forget that when my kids were patients here. People were just there and they came to help. That's what makes the difference.
We had a very trying death in the pediatric intensive care unit. The child's family wasn't present. And the mom could not get here. Her car didn't function, didn't work. One of our medical receptionists left the unit, picked her up, and brought her here. It just means that, to me, it means that everybody understands what we're trying to do, and everybody's committed to it. It's not in anyone's job description to do something like that, but she felt it was extremely important to do, and it made a huge difference in that experience.
Just 2 years ago, I got relapsed with cancer. It all started when I was 5. At first, I just thought I'd be an ordinary patient, just everyone treating me good like everyone else, but I wasn't just any old patient who they just walk in, give me medicines, and just go walk right out. They always like to play with me, like I do different things. I do pillow fights, water syringe fights, try to keep Anthony from getting all my beanies. Yeah, a lot of people might think it's not okay to have water syringe fights, but it is. I mean, if you want the patient to really like the nurse, you gotta have a special bond with them. Yeah. If it didn't, well then patients wouldn't think they're that special.
because every patient is special. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. A few times if you get cancer, you might think like you're gonna die, and you could go through chemo and radiation where you do have to take risks, but they're not really that high. You probably won't die.
You learn to admire them and to admire their courage and to put things into perspective. I mean, truly, that's what this is all about, is putting things into perspective. And those children, just by the way they deal with things, can tell you what are the priorities in life and how important it is to work with them.
Anything else, my friend?
No. Now that I don't have cancer anymore, I still see my nurses a lot to like say hi. They always like scream and then give me a big hug like they haven't seen me in years, and that just makes me feel really good. They still love you even if you're not sick.
The more kids you meet doing what I do, the stronger person you are and the harder you fight for the next child that you get. And I think every one of them has a different story that is quite inspiring.
Kelly was born with inflammatory bowel disease, and since that time she's had probably a total of 18 to 25 surgeries. She's still with us, thanks to the people here at Vanderbilt. Kelly actually has a nurse who was her primary care nurse when she was a baby, who still sends birthday cards, Easter cards, Halloween cards, Christmas cards. You know, she's always sending Kelly a card. So the relationship is there.
I think they love you and they care for you as an individual, and they treat each person differently.
When we first came in for her first treatment, I believe, and we met Anthony that works here, the head charge nurse, who's been great. He was explaining to us what we were going to have to do when we go home and how we were going to have to give Ellie shots and to get her counts back up. And he told us we were going to have to give Ellie shots, and it just frightened me, and I'm sure Meredith too, to think we had to do that. And he was like, oh, it's going to be a piece of cake. And so he took a shot of saline, I guess it was. And he said, come on, we're going to go in here and I'm going to teach you how to do it, and I'm going to let you give me a shot. And so he let Meredith give him a shot in the arm twice, I believe. Showed her how to do it, where to put it, and it just made everything, you know, not frightening anymore.
It's hard for the families to give their own child a shot. Nobody wants to do that. And if you can know what it feels like and know what they're going through, then you're able to do that knowing that you're doing the right thing and you don't feel guilty about it.
We've had so many people that heard we were coming here, and they just said, well, you couldn't be going anywhere better. And then it didn't take long at all for that to be proven once we got here.
A heartful thanks to Vanderbilt, its staff, for allowing me to have my daughter and allowing a lot of other families to have their children also. And for the ones who didn't make it, they allowed them comfort in knowing that they did all they could do for them.
We never in a million years dreamed that we would be here, because the people that have donated, they have made it easier for us to be able to go through this. And we're just truly thankful.
This campaign for Children's Hospital had to have a champion, and fortunate for us, fortunate for the children and families of this region, they do have a champion, and that is Monroe Carroll Jr.
You can see in everything he does and says that he has deep in his heart the strongest commitment that anyone could have to help children.
For those of you who've been building this facility, I know you've probably built larger facilities and taller facilities, but you will never have worked on a facility that is more important to Nashville and to all of us.
I've been in the hospital for a long time. These people did a good job making this hospital for us.
It makes you realize real quickly how all of us are so blessed with health, and we don't even think about it, we don't even consider it and that kids are brought into this world, they don't ask to be put in that position. And it's just kind of heartbreaking. So whatever we could do in some small way to give back just a little bit makes us feel better about what we're doing. You know, I mean, that's if we can't give back a little bit and we've been allowed to have the success that we've had, I don't think that we deserve to be here, to be honest with you.
Yes, I do think it's nice that the people gave money. Thank you for donating the money, and I wish I could do something for you. Like, if they have children, I could donate some toys for them, and I would invite them over to a big dinner.
A new hospital that's dedicated entirely to children is just, it's a godsend. It's invaluable. And to know that there are people that shared their heart to make that hospital possible is incredible.
Thank you, all you people who donated money to help me get better.
I have learned that a young child or a kid can have more courage than many adults, and that he's a lot tougher than I could have ever dreamed that he would be.
Devin is 10 and will glide in. He's healed.
Oh, she's so precious.
Look at that smile.
You have a smile.
Everybody there is my family, and without them, we wouldn't be here today. They're just our family, and they're a team, and if anybody has ever walked in our shoes, they better hope that that team's on their side.
Happy birthday to our patients and families, with our best wishes for many, many more.
Thank you, Vanderbilt, for making birthdays possible for Caroline and Jack. Happy Caroline and Jack.
Happy birthday to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. You do a wonderful job. I'm proud to live in a state that has a hospital like this in it.
Happy birthday to you.
Every day is a blessing. We are so thankful. Without Vanderbilt, we would be without Abigail.
Her birthday is just a celebration of life for everyone.
It means the world to us every birthday that comes around. It reminds us how blessed we were on the day you were born. And he's a sweet boy.
Happy birthday, Brian.
You've just seen how special our children and families are to us. You can make more birthdays possible by visiting this site and selecting Helping Us.
Others never broke my heart. They were like northern stars, pointing me on my way. And into your loving arms, this much I know is true. God bless the broken road, let me stray to you.